Hi there. Welcome to Leadership Above the Grind Mentoring and Coaching Academy. Today, I'm going to share with you the 5 step formula to become a stress free leader and achieve bigger results through accelerating teamwork without sacrificing health, family, faith, and as I like to say, fun. As we move through the remainder of our discussion, I will stop my video so that you can completely focus on the content. If you don't already have one, grab a pen and a pad. You're going to want to take some notes as we move through this. Greater results, fulfillment, and well being. Does that sound like an oxymoron to you? Well, it's absolutely possible, and we have the blueprint. There is a reason I have become so passionate about this work. More than 70% of leaders say their greatest source of stress is work. Couple that with the more than 200 million in medications and the 66% of all primary care physician visits that are related to stress. Ladies and gentlemen, these are just the facts, and it paints a pretty scary picture. It seems that we have created a new normal out of something that should not be normal at all. But there is hope, and the research gives us the information we need to find our way forward. When asked, 83% of businesses say it is important to develop leaders at all levels. Given that, how do leaders respond when provided with that education and support? In a recent study, results show that participants undergoing leadership training improve their learning capacity by 25% and their performance by 20%. Why? Because the solution for leaders is not in hope, but it is in tangible growth and development opportunities. This has been proven time and time again. When asked how they want to be educated, 48% of leaders say they prefer external coaching. Leaders are smart, and so are you. Reflexively, you know what you need to create a bigger impact in your organization. As we move into the rest of our conversation, I'm so glad you're here, and I assume that you are determined to stop the madness. Listen, if you know deep in your heart that something needs to change to recapture that joy you had for leading and living, I have some critical information to share with you. But how do you know this message is for you? We're going to go through some specifics in a moment, but let me ask you this. Do you have others that you influence in your life? Is there anyone who turns to you for guidance or support? Do you have responsibility for a department or a division? And are you committed to leading yourself to the greatest possible results in your life? If you answered yes to any of these questions, this is for you. Maybe you're a senior director responsible for leading across several divisions, and you're starting to see the effects of turnover impacting your team. The Great Resignation became a strategic focus for so many coming out of the pandemic. And when more than 40% are either actively looking or willing to consider new offers or new jobs, this can be quite alarming. Yet, in many industries, employee turnover was already high. The pandemic simply amplified what many were already experiencing. You know you cannot achieve next level results without a fully committed team, and you're determined to get back on track. What would it mean to have the right team in place, to have people in the right seat on the bus, and to know they are locked in and committed to you? You might be a newly promoted leader with a team of tremendous potential, but the results are not showing up. Culture is one of the greatest indicators of employee success. When morale is low, the cost to companies can be significant. Even worse, it makes your job more difficult because the tension between employees and managers affects productivity, performance, and so much more. This makes your job harder. Peter Drucker said, "Culture eats strategy for breakfast." I'm sure you understand what he means. Imagine creating a culture where your team is thriving because you've created the space for them to show up and deliver. How good would it feel to know that by investing in yourself, you have the opportunity to change the trajectory of your team's culture to a more positive and productive one? Do you lead a remote team? And even with all of the technology out there, you might be finding that there are disconnects in communication. Or even if you're in the office every single day and you might wonder why we missed key information that would have helped us close or seal the deal. George Bernard Shaw said the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. There is an art to communication, and because speaking is not an indication of effective communication, there's so much more to learn. Effective communication requires us to both send and receive messages. One without the other will fall short. I can imagine you are ready to improve your communication because it is the alpha and the omega of influence and success. When you master your communication, it puts you in a different stratosphere. I can't wait to begin working with you because I want you to see the power in following our 5 step formula that I'm going to share with you shortly. We are going to talk about becoming a stress free leader. Just think about that for a moment. So, we'll talk about this and then we'll connect the dots for you on how you can get bigger results for your team. You don't have to give up faith, family, sanity, or fun. So, we'll get to that in a moment. Does leading your small team cause far too many days of feeling emotionally exhausted? I get it. I have absolutely been there. And just when you think you're at your wits' end, you keep on pushing because that's what we do. Yet the pressure doesn't stop. What would it mean in your life to build emotional capacity, to strengthen your emotional agility so that you can lessen the toll, the damage that occurs from being in the grind? I want you to imagine that for a moment. Maybe you lead a division across multiple states. You travel a lot, and your experience lately feels like you're in the grind. I've been there too. This can become a limiting belief. Beliefs are so powerful. They subtly embed themselves in your life, often without your awareness. And before you know it, you are believing that good leadership is synonymous with negative stress, that being a good leader means you shouldn't have healthy boundaries, or that the daily feeling of frustration is just expected. Here's the thing: leadership only means those things if you choose it. We'll talk more about this a little bit later, but imagine your life with the foundational belief that leadership is an honor and a privilege that comes with challenges. And those challenges help us grow and expand both personally and professionally. You are absolutely capable of taking on these challenges and knocking them down one by one. I am so glad that you're here right now. I want you to close your eyes for just a second and take a deep breath. It's important for you to begin rewriting your story. It's time to create the life you want instead of accepting the life that you get. I want you to decide it's my time. If you feel like you've been doing this alone, I want you to know we are right here to help. You see, there's this fallacy in leadership that strength means going it alone, that you should just figure it out on your own. Remember the old saying, if you want something done right, do it yourself? False, false, false. Not only is that false, it's unsustainable. There is no need to carry the world on your shoulders when there are those of us who stand ready and willing to fight with you and to support you. So, who am I? Let me tell you a bit more about me. My name is Rhonda Y. Williams, and I grew up in Philadelphia before moving out to the suburbs. I am divorced and have been divorced for a while now. I have three brilliant, amazing adult sons. I'm a corporate leadership trainer. I am an entrepreneur, and I'm a former CNO and CEO. And just like all of you, I am so much more. I am an author, I am a speaker. There are so many elements to me, just like there are for you. I'll let you in on another little secret about me. One of my favorite things to do is watching NFL football on Sundays during this season. Now, if you had x ray vision into my house, it would be hilarious. We all show up in the family room at a certain time. The meals are planned out the day before. We decide on the beverages for the day, and then we settle in with all of our food, drinks, and fun to yell and cheer during the game. Now, I hope no one holds this against me, but the Philadelphia Eagles are my favorite team. Talk about a roller coaster ride. As I've been on this journey for a while, it took me some time, some trials and tribulations to figure it out. But once I did, I was clear. I am relentless in my pursuit of helping leaders to discover and access their power, to eliminate negative stress, and to leverage and incorporate proven principles for success and fulfillment. I shared earlier that I'm a former CEO. I shared earlier that I'm a former CEO and CNO of a hospital. As you know, when you are at the highest levels of the organization, it can be incredibly rewarding. But not only are you the most visible, you are also the most vulnerable. What I did not see coming was the storm that was approaching in the form of a situation that turned into a PR nightmare. During the event, I did what I always do. I handled it, and we kept our staff and our patients as the primary focus. Yet, as the situation began to resolve itself, my organization decided they could no longer handle me. I lost my job after working at this company for nearly 18 years. I was devastated, but the storm wasn't over yet. Shortly after that, I realized that the man that I had been married to for 25 years was not the man I needed to stay with, and we divorced. My world was absolutely rocked. Now, maybe you've never been through a divorce. Maybe you've never been laid off or lost your job. But certainly, you've been in a situation where someone let you down or you were disappointed and had to bounce back. Remember how that felt as you tried to pull it together and move forward. I want you to put an emoji in the comments if you can relate to this. As I tried to regain my balance, I decided I would not continue this path anymore. It was my moment of awakening. From this point forward, I was going to take the keys, set the destination, and lead myself in a way that brought greater success, joy, and fulfillment. This was the moment everything changed for me, and the magic began to show up in my life. I wanted to start a new chapter, and I did a 360 on my life. I pretty much changed everything. I changed my hair, I changed all the furniture. In fact, I sold all of my old furniture. I lost 50 pounds. I wrote my first book, and I started a company. I was back, and boy, did it feel good. I've spent countless hours on what I'm going to share with you, not just in terms of my experience, but I've invested more than $100,000 in working with coaches, attending conferences, investing in courses because I realized that my gift is in leading. But having a natural gift is not enough. I am committed to the science and the process of leadership. I've taken all of this and developed it into a repeatable process that any leader can use to get results. It's my 5 step formula for how to become a stress free leader and achieve bigger results through accelerating teamwork without sacrificing health, family, faith, and don't forget fun. I'm not sure what you really heard as I shared my story, so I'll spell it out for you. Nothing happens in your life until you decide. When you develop a peak performer's mindset, it means getting clear on who you are as a leader and on deciding what you want and how you want to show up. What this means is that you're hiring the right people, you're retaining your staff, and so much more. I want to share a brief story with you. One day in 2007, Ariana Huffington was at home on the phone. She was checking emails when she passed out, fell, and woke up in a pool of blood with a broken cheekbone and a cut over her eye. She had been working 18-hour days building the Huffington Post website, and she was terrified. After weeks of medical tests, doctors finally came back with a simple but disturbing answer. She was exhausted. She called this the wake up of her life. Now, I want you to fast forward with me and think about my story as I shared it. I shared that my life went off track in 2009. What I now realize is that I was leading in the grind. I didn't realize it then, but I do now. And you know what? Ariana was also leading in the grind. So, what did I do? I had to go through several steps. I hit the reset button. I decided to restart from that moment of my awareness. I became much more intentional. I became truly focused on what I was doing and why I was doing it. I invested in me. As I mentioned, I invested in coaches and conferences, and I also invested in spa days and vacations. This was a complete journey of self discovery. I had to take control. I had to take 100% ownership. There's a term that I like to use today, hashtag it's always you. Now, often when I say that, sometimes my clients want to throw something at me. But you know what? This is not about blame. This is a term of empowerment. And I've adopted it and I now share it with all of my clients because hashtag it's always you means you are in the driver's seat. You take ownership and you get to decide. So, what's my point? You cannot sit in the passenger seat and wait for things to change. There's no white knight coming to save you. Nothing will change until you decide that it will. Leadership doesn't have to be a cycle of endless overwhelm, frustration, and lack of happiness and fulfillment. You can create a leadership life you love, but only you can make that decision. Take out a piece of paper or open up a tablet, and I want you to finish the sentence. I am finished allowing blank in my life. Fill in the blank. What is that for you? What are you finished allowing in your life? For far too long, we have normalized negative stress for leaders. What's my evidence to make that claim? 75% of leaders say their primary source of stress is work. And 66% say they have lost sleep over work. When you couple that with the fact that US businesses alone lose up to 200 billion annually as a result of workplace stress, we all understand that this is simply not sustainable. It is time to stop the madness. Albert Einstein said, "We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them." So we continue to unpack this with visioneering. Now, visioneering is the art of designing your future state. I'm going to spend a little time on this one. We go into this more in the academy, but I want to give you a good head start here. You'll want to be sure that you have a pen and a paper available for this portion. In visioneering, we lay our cards on a table and we prepare for a bit of introspection. Whether you are in the public sector responsible for multiple teams, states, or leading $1 million portfolio for your organization, let's do the following exercises together. So, number one, where are you now? On a scale of 1 to 10, I would like you to rate your satisfaction with the following areas of your life: your career, your family and life balance, and your social life. Please take a second to rate these three areas on a scale of 1 to 10. When you have completed that, let's move forward. What's your vision for where you want to take your team? What's your vision for how you want to show up in service of that team? Take just a moment and jot down a sentence or two that describes your vision for your team. This is important. So take a moment. If you need to press the pause button, certainly do so. Now, whatever that vision is, there is something required of you to achieve this goal. That's the beauty of opening your heart and your mind to experiences that will form your future. It is always the understanding that the journey begins with self. So, which of the following skills would help you get closer to achieving your vision? I'm going to name a few skills. Jot down these skills as I mention them, and then following mentioning all five, circle the one that you believe would help you get closer to achieving your vision. Is it the skill of communication, Is it building your confidence? Is it establishing healthy boundaries? Is it improving your emotional intelligence, including your self awareness? Or is it decision making? I can almost guarantee you that one of these areas will be tremendously helpful in you achieving the vision that you just laid out in the previous sentence or two. If you're following along, you're developing something actionable you can leave this workshop with and start on today. That's the exciting part about being here. I want you to have something tangible that you can do immediately today. Notice I did not say next year. That's way too long. You can make immediate changes in your life again when you decide and you have a team supporting you. That's why we're here, because that's what we do. We remove delays and procrastination and we turn it into real results. Let's review what we did in this visionary activity together. We assessed your current situation, and you had three areas that you rated on a scale of 1 to 10. We then wrote a sentence or two describing our vision for our team and how we want to show up in service of that team. Number three, you identified the specific skill that you believe will help you make the greatest progress in the next 3 months. We're talking real time and we're talking immediate change. There is no one looking here. This is just between you and I. So you can be completely honest here. But if you want to share, feel free to type into the comments the one area that you believe will help you gain the most traction in the next 3 months. It's a great way to plant the seeds in the universe so that they can take root and sprout your vision. You don't have to sacrifice your family, faith, health, or fun. Let me ask you a question. Are you the thermometer or the thermostat? I hope you said that you were the thermostat because you are the one regulating your life. You're setting the tone. I'll share another brief story with you. When I was in healthcare, I was working on a team and the team received maximum call ins. Everyone was exhausted, everyone was uncertain. And just think about what can happen in healthcare when we're caring for patients and we are not at 100%. In an instance, a critical decision could cost a life. It could cost yours or someone else's. When I found myself in this situation in real life, I became the thermostat. I gathered the team, I set the plan, I set the emotional tone for the day. And even though things were not perfect, we rocked it, doing the very best we could and knowing we had each other's backs. You may not be in a life or death situation, but can you relate to being in a situation and having that emotional moment that you wish someone had your back? When you lean in to being a stress free leader, you are in control, even in the midst of chaos. When you do this, you raise your know, like, and trust factor throughout your team and your organization, and you decrease your stress in the process. That was just a small sampling of the deep inner work we do with our leaders. For some of you, you have exactly what you needed just in the first two steps. Step one was about developing your peak performer's mindset and how you can do that. Step two was about visioneering and creating the vision and planting those seeds that will sprout your new reality. So now I'm going to give you the secret sauce. I need you to listen like you've never listened before. For some of you, we might be your very next step. We include this and so much more in the Leadership Above the Grind blueprint, where we guide you through the process of taking back your life and refilling your leadership bucket so you can serve from a place of abundance. Each step in the process serves a distinct purpose for how it contributes and solidifies your foundation. I touched on one aspect of this in visioneering, but there is so much more. When leaders reduce negative distress in their life, they build their capacity for leading. They also reconnect with the joy of leadership. Leadership is an honor and a privilege, but not when it feels like you are sacrificing the very heart of who you are. We have normalized overwhelming stress and high pressure. It is not healthy, and in my view, it is no longer acceptable. Everything we do here takes you one step closer to becoming a stress free leader. You don't have to do this alone. In fact, I strongly advise against it. I advise against the loner approach. And listen, if you're like me, you can talk yourself into or out of anything. But lasting change requires support and it requires accountability. It requires regrouping when things get hard. It thrives under guidance and support. I want the greatest possible success for you on your journey, and leveraging a support network is one of the ways we make sure that that happens. Just for making it to this point, I'm going to send you a special gift. It's my gift to you because if you're committed to your success, I'm committed to your success as well. We've gone through a lot, but right now I want to share a special invitation with you. Introducing Leadership Above the Grind Academy. I am so excited to share this with you. Our mentoring and coaching academy is a game changer. You don't have to piece together endless information from various sources that you're not sure if they will actually be helpful or not. We help growth focused servant leaders expand their skill set so they can reduce toxic and negative stress and get bigger and better results. Who wouldn't want that? We help you bring the joy back to leadership. You might be asking, will this work for me? I can tell you that when I became more decisive and intentional, my entire world changed. Everything became a little clearer, a little more exciting, and a little more fun. And I believe the same will be true for you. Will it work for you? Absolutely. I've spent years understanding the formula that led to my becoming what some folks call me as the stress free leader. I'm now sharing it with leaders around the globe because I know it will work for you. You're here because even on a subconscious level, you've decided things need to be different. I invite you to take the next step in your journey with an incredible team here to support you. I invite you to join our winning team at the Leadership Above the Grind Mentoring and Coaching Academy. You can visit eliteleaders.net to register and to join us today. In leadership, self investment is like air. It is mandatory and not optional for those who expect long term success. So, is there an investment? The answer is yes. Are you absolutely worth it? Without a doubt. When you join us in the academy, here's what you'll get. So, I'm excited to share the four pillars that really are the posts and the foundation for the Leadership Above the Grind program. Pillar one is our Leadership Above the Grind Academy. This is our foundation. You have access to powerful leadership online content via our learning and membership portal. Leadership is simple but not easy. So we cover the concepts that are essential for you to integrate into your leadership with consistency and with confidence. In our academy, there is a ton of information. You get 8 complete modules and a total of 24 lessons. In Pillar 2, our Leadership Above the Grind Mastermind, this one is exciting. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talked about the power of the mastermind. The mastermind is where we leverage the collective power of our unique skills and abilities. This is transformative work that will help you continue to evolve as a leader. Pillar number 3 is all about our Leadership Above the Grind tribe. This is our Facebook community solely for our active members of the community. This is your opportunity to come, to vent, to ask questions, to share, and to learn and grow. And pillar number 4 is our Leadership Above the Grind live event. We do various live events throughout the year, and you'll receive access to one of those live events at no additional cost. As our team and I put this together, I was so excited about our ability to touch lives and to change leaders around the globe. So I decided that pillars 1 through 4, although they provide amazing and incredible value all on their own, I decided that we needed to do more. So we introduced a fast action bonus. Now, this is really special because we are offering this for those of you who join us immediately following this program. This is an incredible opportunity, and these bonuses will not last. So let me share the bonuses with you. Bonus number one is our Leadership Above the Grind Jumpstart program. And in this program, I'm going to personally give you my guidance to help you turbo boost the start of your journey. At times, the beginning of your journey can be the most challenging. What you do every single day has become a part of who you are. So, we're going to need to do a bit of unlearning and relearning as we begin. Bonus number two is the Leadership Above the Grind Roundtable. This is your opportunity to join us in meaningful conversations that enlighten and elevate your journey. You have the opportunity to engage, learn, and collaborate with us. Bonus number three is our Leadership Above the Grind retreat. This is one we're super excited about. When leaders are in an environment where they are focused on themselves, magical things happen. When you pour into yourself, that's when the magic comes out, particularly when you are surrounded by other committed and successful leaders. Here's my special offer for founding members of the Academy. We already have some members in our Academy, so this is a limited time offer. Because we have already begun enrolling leaders at the founders level, when our founder limit is met, this rate and the bonuses will no longer be available. So visit us today at eliteleaders.net. When you do, you'll see a recap of everything we've discussed here today that would be included for you, and you can register right away. Listen, I have no doubt that you're incredibly smart, gifted, and talented. But there is a couple of ways that you can do this. The hard way is taking the approach that I took many years ago, thinking I'll just figure it out. I can tell you that I wish I had a committed team supporting me early in my journey. I did it the hard way. You don't have to. When you work with my team, you are telling us that you value one of the most precious resources that you have. That is your time. We help you reduce your pain cycle to get you moving on your more positive path quickly and efficiently. So don't wait. Enroll and take advantage of this opportunity today. It will not be around long, I can promise you. I am so excited that you chose to invest in yourself today. Just being here, listening to the presentation, going through this webinar is an investment in you. If you recall, we shared a couple of steps that you can take away and begin applying to your life immediately. But to get the full effect and to get the greatest benefit and to shorten that learning and pain cycle, I invite you to join us. Hope is not a strategy, and the only thing that will bring about the change you deserve is action. I'll see you on the other side as you register at eliteleaders.net. Thanks for joining me.